Welcome to the big house of crafts. Most people see a toothbrush, they see, well, a toothbrush. But in the joint? That toothbrush can become a whole lot more. We're talking shivs, shanks, zip guns, things that'll make your blood run cold. These are the real deal, crafted with ingenuity born out of necessity, fear, and maybe a little bit of madness. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to dive headfirst into the top 10 most dangerous prison crafts. Now let's talk about the shank. A shank is basically a makeshift knife, sharpened down from anything you can get your hands on. Toothbrushes, plastic utensils, even bed frames. You name it, it's been turned into a shank. It don't take much to sharpen something to a point when you got nothing but time on your hands. They're designed to inflict pain, to maim, to kill. The scary part is, a shank can be made with materials found just about anywhere in a prison. That's why they're so prevalent and so damn dangerous. You gotta be quicker, you gotta be smarter, and sometimes, you gotta have a little something up your sleeve. Or in this case, hidden in your boot. Because in here, a toothbrush can be a weapon, and a shank can be a death sentence. Ever heard the saying, necessity is the mother of invention? Well, nowhere is that more true than in prison. And when it comes to homemade firepower, nothing says desperate like a zip gun. Zip guns are crude, cobbled-together contraptions, often made from little more than pipes, rubber bands, and a nail for a firing pin. They're unreliable, unpredictable, and downright deadly. Imagine taking a Bic pen, emptying it out, and then somehow rigging it up to fire a single bullet. These things are held together with spit and prayers, and they're just as likely to blow up in your face as they are to hit their target. It might not be pretty, it might not be safe, but it's a weapon, and in the joint, that's all that matters. Because in the wrong hands, even the most innocuous object can become a deadly weapon. We've talked about shanks, which are basically prison-made knives, but now let's get down to brass tacks and discuss the shiv. See, a shiv is like a shank's scrappier cousin. It's smaller, easier to conceal, and just as deadly. Picture this, you're walking down the yard, minding your own business, when suddenly you feel a sharp pain in your side. You look down and see a sliver of metal, maybe a sharpened piece of plastic, sticking out of your gut. That, my friends, is a shiv. Anything can be a shiv if you're determined enough. A broken piece of glass, a sharpened toothbrush handle, even a chicken bone honed to a point. Shivs are all about stealth. They're meant to be hidden, to be used quickly and quietly. In the joint, respect is everything, and sometimes respect is earned the hard way with a shiv in the dark. Chapter 4. Inking a different deal. Now you might think that art and prison don't mix, but you'd be wrong. See, behind bars, tattoos are more than just body art. They're a form of self-expression, a way to mark time and sometimes a badge of honor. But getting inked in the slammer is a far cry from your local tattoo parlor. Forget about sterile needles and fancy machines. In prison, tattoo artists, and I use that term loosely, have to get creative. They fashion makeshift tattoo guns out of whatever they can find. It's crude, it's dangerous, and it's a surefire way to contract hepatitis or worse. But they tell a story of pain, loss, and resilience. Chapter 5. Blowin Smoke. We're talking about blowguns, folks. Not the kind you'd find at a carnival, but the kind that can send chills down your spine. In the hands of a skilled inmate, a blowgun can be a silent but deadly weapon capable of delivering a payload of pain with pinpoint accuracy. Prison-made blowguns are often crafted from hollowed-out pens, straws, or even rolled-up paper. The darts? Well, they can be just about anything. Sharpened toothpicks, nails, even sewing needles coated with a little something extra to make them sting. In the joint, that straw could be used to settle a score, silence a snitch, or send a message. It's all about improvisation, folks. Turning the mundane into the menacing. Chapter 6. Chuckin It Up. We all know nunchucks from those old kung fu movies where martial artists wield them with incredible skill and precision. But did you know that these ancient weapons are alive and well in the joint? That's right, folks. In the harsh and unforgiving environment of prison, nunchucks have found a new home. Prisoners have been known to craft their own nunchucks, or chucks as they're called on the inside, using everything from broom handles to socks filled with batteries. The creativity and resourcefulness displayed in making these weapons are truly remarkable. These homemade chucks can pack a serious wallop. They are not just for show, they can cause significant damage and are used in real confrontations. They're used to intimidate, to maim, and yes, even to kill. In the high-stakes world of prison, having a weapon like this can mean the difference between life and death. It takes skill and practice to master nunchucks. But in prison, where time is plentiful and boredom is a constant companion, some inmates become downright deadly with these makeshift weapons. They train rigorously, turning their cells into makeshift dojos. Imagine the dedication it takes to turn a couple of bars of soap and a bedsheet into a weapon capable of breaking bones. This level of ingenuity is both impressive and terrifying. It's a testament to the human spirit's ability to adapt and overcome, even in the most desperate of circumstances. The drive to survive and protect oneself can lead to incredible feats of innovation. So next time you see a pair of nunchucks, remember, they're more than just a movie prop. They represent a blend of tradition, survival, and the unyielding human spirit. Chapter 7. Locked and Loaded. You wouldn't think a place that confiscates belts and shoelaces would be a hotbed for homemade archery equipment, would you? But prisons are full of surprises. Believe it or not, crossbows have been found in prisons all over the world. These aren't just isolated incidents, it's a widespread phenomenon. And these ain't your kids' toys, folks. These are serious, dangerous weapons. We're talking about lethal weapons, capable of firing projectiles with deadly force. They can cause serious injury or even death. They're cobbled together from bed springs, mop handles, toothbrush bristles, anything an inmate can scrounge up and fashion into a deadly projectile launcher. The creativity is astounding. The ingenuity is impressive in a terrifying sort of way. It's a testament to human resourcefulness, even in the most dire circumstances. These guys are using their time on the inside to become expert weapon makers, and that's a sobering thought. They turn everyday items into instruments of survival and defense. It goes to show that no matter how many walls you put around someone, the human mind will always find a way to innovate, for better or for worse. The drive to create and adapt is unstoppable. So next time you see a crossbow, don't just think about hunting or target practice. Remember the hidden stories behind these weapons. Think about the desperate lengths some people will go to in order to survive. It's a stark reminder of the human spirit's resilience and the lengths it will go to when pushed to the edge. Chapter 8. Cocktail of Chaos. Now this next one is about as dangerous as it gets. We're talking about Molotov cocktails, folks. Those homemade firebombs that can turn a prison riot into an inferno in the blink of an eye. It's a recipe for disaster, literally. All you need is a flammable liquid, a glass bottle, a rag, and a whole lot of bad intentions. In prison, where access to such materials is supposed to be restricted, inmates have been known to get creative. They'll use anything from rubbing alcohol and hairspray to cooking oil and paint thinner to create their concoctions. One flick of a lighter and a Molotov cocktail can engulf a cell, a hallway, or even an entire prison block in flames. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can be transformed into weapons of chaos in the wrong hands. Chapter 9. Silent but Deadly. We're talking about garrotes, folks. Those silent but deadly weapons that have been used for centuries to eliminate enemies, both real and imagined. And in the close quarters of a prison cell, a garrote can be a particularly effective tool for settling scores. It's a length of wire, cord, or even a shoelace, looped around the victim's neck and pulled tight, cutting off their air supply and leading to a quick and silent death. Prison-made garrotes are often crafted from materials that are readily available, such as bedsheets, shoelaces, or even dental floss. They're easy to conceal, easy to use, and incredibly deadly. Chapter 10. Spear-headed Attack. Last but not least we come to the spear, a weapon that has stood the test of time. An ancient weapon, as old as time itself, and just as relevant today in the confines of a prison cell as it was on the battlefields of old. The spear has evolved, but its purpose remains the same. We're talking about sharpened mop handles, broom handles, even bedposts transformed into crude but effective spears. These everyday items become instruments of survival. These makeshift weapons can be used for both offense and defense, and in the close quarters of a prison brawl, they can be deadly. The stakes are high, and every move counts. Imagine a sharpened piece of metal, 3 or 4 feet long, wielded with the desperation and fury of a cornered animal. It's not just a weapon, it's a lifeline. It's a weapon born out of necessity, a tool of survival in a world where violence is often the only language spoken. Inmates must adapt quickly to their harsh environment. So next time you see a spear, think about the desperation that drives a human being to fashion a weapon out of whatever they can find. It's a testament to human ingenuity and the will to survive. That's a wrap. For now. Well folks, there you have it. The top 10 most dangerous prison crafts. It's a grim reminder of the ingenuity and desperation that can exist behind bars. But it's also a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the ability to adapt and overcome even in the most challenging of circumstances. Remember, these crafts are a product of their environment, a reflection of the harsh realities of prison life. But they're also a reminder that even in the darkest of places, hope and creativity can still flourish, because in the wrong hands, even the most innocuous objects can be transformed into something dangerous, even deadly.